Welcome back, DigiDs. That's right, to another calming episode of Mini Motorways. Now, I don't know if calming necessarily is the correct term to be using here, but thank you for coming back, and let's go ahead and continue exactly where we left off from last time. I believe last time, that's right, we finished and attempted Dearest Slalom. But today, a little bit more topical, a little bit more on the nose, we're going to be playing over at Moscow. But now, taking a look at Moscow, it seems like a rather simple map, and we may be able to do quite well. Munich coming up next afterwards seems to be a little bit similar to Tokyo, almost too similar in a sense. I might even be inclined to skip past Munich and get over to Zurich. Zurich? I do not know how to pronounce any of these names, and I apologize profusely. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we're doing with Moscow. Start a new city. I do not have a city in progress. You know what? That's because last time I continued in the endless mode in Dar es Salaam. So it's trying to say that one still continues. But we're going to be going along with Moscow. Start a new city. And off we go. Starting off with some yellows. That's a little bit unusual. Typically it seems as though you seem to always start off with red. And in Moscow, you'd think it'd be more topical to be starting off with red, right? That is kind of like their whole color. Their whole theme is red. Couple yellows right off the bat. Not bad. We do see that we're a little bit close to the river. So as the map starts to expand, we're already going to get a little bit of that arch of the river down here on the bottom side, right where my cursor is, almost exactly where we see our bonuses at the moment, our road tiles, and we do appear to start with one bridge as well, which is good. Last time we started off with one roundabout. And excuse me, already a second market immediately in place, a couple of houses right off the bat. Already got a little bit of a junction going on here, so I'm actually going to disconnect this immediately before it starts to already become a problem. Already with 4 houses trying to fix my roads as is. Surprisingly getting 2 markets already right off the bat, but luckily they are right next to each other, so that's going to help our strategy out quite a bit. Another yellow. Oh boy, I'm trying to get rid of this intersection, not make it even harder. I know in the future that is probably going to be a problem, but hopefully we might be able to kind of close it off and make a little bit of an outlet here just so we have an escape just in case another house does try to spawn there. It'll end up cutting off this entire area. What do we want? Do we want a traffic light or a roundabout? In this scenario, I think I might actually want the roundabout. We have a couple of stores, like we see here right off the bat. We got another blue that's going around to the backside, which is very helpful that it's not going to go straight through the center of the yellows. Or is that more of an orange? Honestly, DigiDs, leave a comment down below. Do you see this as yellow or do you see this as orange? Personally, I say it's yellow. I think there even might be an orange color that comes on later in the game. So we'll just have to wait and see if we can even get that far into the process, right? We have just started. We have yet to see anything that this map has to offer to us. A couple yellows still. I'm going to, again, extend this outlet just in case. I don't want anything spawning right here blocking off these yellows and access to it. This roundabout seems to be doing pretty well. It gives them access to go straight to this one, off to the other market, and keep the traffic flow going. Now we do have these whites kind of spawning off in a off-beaten path, which is a little bit worrying. Don't want to accidentally connect in those blues, but a little bit worrying considering that now we already have to go and reach all the way around. We do get another yellow here on the backside, so it seems like yellows are going to be our primary kind of source of vehicles. Ooh, do I want a roundabout or 30 road tiles? I think I'm going to want 30 road tiles. Now with these 30 road tiles, I think it's going to help out a lot. In our last playthrough, we saw that we had a huge issue kind of just running out of road tiles in general. Like we kept having issues. We picked a lot of traffic lights. We picked a lot of bridges and a lot of motorways, surprisingly. However, we didn't have enough road tiles to connect everything afterwards. We were sitting there having to take apart some of our roads just so we can get some tiles back to manage it all. Now I imagine something else is going to spawn here any second now. It's probably going to be down here on the south side. Most of this island river area has now come into view. Ooh, okay. Now this is where it's already going to start to get a little bit difficult because now we have more blues spawning in on this road network. I'm going to connect them in the best way that I can, but we already have a couple of issues with these spawning on the outside. I guess the best course of action would be to maybe just go around this entirely. I could go even further around this blue. It's not an ideal situation by any means. However, we do have the road tiles, so why not use them? But with that being said, I think I kind of want to close this area off because I don't want... I didn't mean to make a zigzag. I hope you guys don't mind the windy road. But hey, luckily a couple of the whites did spawn on the same network, and now we have a nice motorway. Okay. With that being said, why even have all these road tiles going all the way around like this when we could probably attach this in very simply, go off the kind of beaten path a little bit, go above and beyond all of the blues, cut out all these road systems. They are unneeded, unnecessary. Can we even make a little bit of a junction here? We can. We don't have another roundabout. A roundabout would be a nice selection at this point. Not quite to our axis at the moment, but we can connect in all these whites, get them into this motorway, and that's going to help the traffic flow a lot. I want to stay here on the bottom side, make sure nothing else spawns in that little corner. I'll be fine if stuff spawns on top, but not underneath. That'll end up screwing over the whole, well, I'd like to say, plan that we have going, but it's not much of a plan. It's just, we are just winging it. So again, I was gonna say, again, we don't want to get this road network cut off, but it seems like we already kind of have it cut off here. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that, get some of the road tiles back. Hopefully nothing too, detrimental spawns in the middle. We do have a blue and white on the same network now. I can steal a couple of these white houses to go over there. Luckily, they can be split up pretty easily between the two, simply because the two roads are so close next to one another. Go ahead and see what ends up spawning next for us, because I know at this point it's just going to get harder and harder. I don't even want this road to connect straight into the motorway. I think I'm actually going to drag this one around a little bit. It seems a little against the grain, right? But if we have too many roads going into one single junction, they're going to slow down too much, trying to wait for cars to go in and out, even of this tiny little, what you would call driveway. I think, does that connect? I don't know if that goes around. I'm not entirely certain. Now, I think a bridge would probably be more helpful right now. We do still have 35 road tiles, plus another 20, so now we're going to be sitting at 55, which is amazing. And speak of the devil, we are going to be needing it. Okay. We have a yellow spawning down on the island, and we have greens over here on this far side on the left. What are we going to do with these greens? We do have a couple of bridges, although the issue being is that trying to get through, yeah, as soon as, if I were to disconnect, if we were to go across and disconnect and then make another bridge, that counts as 2 bridges. So in order to combat that, we're going to have to actually keep it as one bridge down the entire river. It's not exactly the best bridge design. Can you imagine that instead of just going straight across the river, you look across and you just have a bridge going down the entire river? Not across it, just down it. Like, yeah, well, we wanted to get around. It works. I don't know who's in charge of city planning. Definitely not me, because I don't get paid enough to do that. Although, speaking of that, DigiDs, speaking of paid enough to even do this, technically speaking, I'm not paid to do this yet. However, we are so close, if not already reached the requirements to be monetized on the channel. Now, I think I might have a little bit of a celebration stream later on, but we still have a celebration stream that has happened already for Dead Island, so in the future, we may have a little bit of a celebration stream that just goes on simply just for being monetized, which is amazing. So thank you for all the support, DigiDs. I'm going to go ahead and keep this playing here instead of pause in the background so I can stop rambling so much. You can actually watch the video. We're going to, again, make a zigzag. I'm going to go ahead and use one bridge to just cut straight across like this. Get these orange houses in connected immediately. This top one and the right, yeah, I'm not going to bother with that one. That's too far disconnected from the rest of the road network to even do anything. And now I am concerned. We have another light blue down here on the bottom left, which is, again, completely opposite from the rest of the blues and how to even get there. Now I think what we're going to have to do... Yeah, I think what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to get rid of this motorway. Surprisingly, I know. We're going to have to get rid of the motorway that the whites are using to kind of get over the blues. Because now I think what I'm going to have to do is actually steal the motorway for the blues to use. We have access. I say let's put it right down here in this little corner. It's a nice little cubby corner, perfectly meant for it. And let's just throw it down. Yeah, throw it down into this corner. Prevent any more greens from accidentally spawning in. Kind of cut off that corner, give us a little bit of room to maybe put a traffic light in the future. But now with that being said, we need to connect in some of these blues. I think these 4 houses will be good enough if I cut off this network and bring these houses into this side, just kind of make that its own network junction. So they have One, two, three, four. They have 5 houses to go to 2 markets, and we'll have 4 houses going to a single market. However, these are much further away, and I think that these can share the load a lot better. That being said, we need these whites to come back around and kind of get into this network. So to make that a little bit easier, instead of doing that like I just made a perfect plan for, instead of doing exactly the plan that I just said I was going to do, I'm instead going to entirely change it. We have a white on this network over here, and these need a couple of houses as well. So I want to go ahead and keep 3 of those houses in, and keep some of these other houses connected into their own type of sub network that's going to come around. No, not connected to blue. It's going to come around that blue, underneath the motorway, and then connect into these 2 whites off to the side. This top right orange, yellow color of a century is still going to be kind of left alone in its own little area. I'm not going to try to put that in. This little blue can just barely fit in between the houses, and that's majestic. Perfect. That being said, we should be good to go. I don't think this motorway is getting in the way of these screens. I believe it's going right over it. I hope so. And to even make sure it definitely is, let's go ahead and just connect it straight in. I wonder if I can actually drag this back 1. I can. Perfect. And now we know it's definitely not getting connected in. And fast forward back to the game. We're going to see how well this functions. We do still have a lot of yellows we need to kind of worry about. Oh, and look who shows up. Another motorway. You know, I could have used you maybe like a minute ago when I just changed all of my plans, but this still works. We're going to use this motorway in a kind of an emergency situation if it need be. Speaking of which, not necessarily an emergency situation, however, I don't have a bridge that can make that work. I actually do not have a bridge to make that work, so I'm going to have to just arbitrarily throw a random motorway here and say good enough. At least for the moment, until we can get another bridge on the next Sunday that comes up. At least hopefully that it gives us the option to choose a bridge. I know a lot more probably going to start spawning down on this island, because we are running out of room on this side. Yep, there it is. More spawning down here. Still not entirely sure how I intend to get some of these whites over, because now it's probably going to spawn in a small grouping, just like so. I shouldn't have to worry immediately. These are still being kind of taken care of by the few houses that are up here at the top. We do have a couple even more white spawning in. I'm going to go ahead and get around this blue. It's a weird little network. I'm going to have this white go around the blue goes around those down to that section. Why not keep this little road here? Just try to make sure nothing else spawns in the way. There we go, a bridge. That's exactly what we need. Because now we can get rid of this motorway. That is just a wasted bit. And you can't make a junction off of a bridge, unfortunately. It will not allow you. So what I think I'm going to do is actually come around the other direction, up and around behind it, and then connect in. Kind of makes a nice little T-junction. Oh, I just noticed we have a purple? Yeah, that's a purple. That's purple. Ooh, but now we don't have a bridge. But now we don't have a bridge. So we're going to have to wait for that motorway to disappear. Yep. And just kind of connect this over the best way that we can. It's going to have to work because, again, we don't have a bridge. We need more bridges. And sadly, it only seems to give you like 1 bridge per. I feel like it should give you maybe 2 bridges, but hey, what's challenging that? Take these greens. These greens are forming a nice little neighborhood. I love it when they do that. Kind of form a little like area where they just all spawn together. I still have these whites kind of separated off in their own section. They almost need their own motorway as well. If we can get another bridge, I will connect these purples by a bridge and then probably connect these whites in via motorway. Everything else is still handling itself pretty well. We have a couple of these yellows that are off the beaten path again, off in their own way. Surprisingly, this purple just upgraded into a mall, even though it only has 4 houses that are all just, again, in its own little world down here. Nice little neighborhood for them. It's perfect. More white spawning down here. Another blue, connect that into the network. May as well connect in this blue to the other network. A bridge, perfect. So let's go ahead and pause so we can get rid of this motorway. And instead, just use a bridge immediately. Go across, come back up, and connect into the road. It'll allow us as soon as that motorway disappears for us. Come on. We're gonna have to wait for all these to come back. I believe in you. Go faster. Speed. Perfect. Thank you. Why aren't you speeding? You need to go faster. Now, what are we going to do with this motorway? I think I'm going to have to use it for this white. Although, surprisingly, again, these whites are kind of holding off. You know, they're not falling behind. I could just save these for an emergency, like, location elsewhere that spawns. Some of these whites and blues are mingling around a little bit too much. We need to segregate them. I don't like the mixing of these two colors. It's honestly, I gotta say, it's really hard to talk about this game and not sound, I mean, let's be real, and not sound a little like, I mean, racist. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Like, we got all these whites here, but I don't like them mixing with the blues, but those oranges / yellows, oh, don't get me started. Oh boy, we have a lot of blues spawning in. Okay, we have a few more off to the side. I'm not exactly seeing, do I not actually have a way in? Go ahead and take another bridge. I'm gonna pause real quick because it appears as though we do not have a way into this road network. We have actually been entirely cut off from it simply because they all spawned around the motorway. That's not necessarily too bad. I mean, I feel like those can very easily keep that mall, you know, keep the mall from being overpowered by like demand. So it should be fine. A couple blues, a couple, there we go. That's what we needed. We do have, I believe we have another bridge. We do have another bridge. Let's go ahead and just kind of connect this over. Hey, this even works better. Now we can just go ahead and connect in these purples. This might still be a little bit too much traffic going through on this one road network. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, but we'll see how this plays out. A lot of them are going to be going straight through, trying to do, this motorway is probably going to be an issue. Yet a lot of them are stopping at this point and having to take time to go up and around. Because now the blues are trying to go to this mall and this one at the bottom, while the purples are still also trying to go to both at the same time as well. Now, these whites actually are starting to fall behind a little bit, so I am going to take this motorway and just attach it in. We don't really have any other white type of markets or situations where we need to connect them in, so they all have to come in through this one network. Perfect. Anything else, these yellows are really starting to be annoying and how they're just spawning on the outside of everywhere I need. These greens, let's not forget about the greens. They're doing all right. We've got one blue sitting off on by his lonesome. He's gonna have to stay over there. He's just gonna have to stay. But now we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 orange houses that are not gonna be connected in. Go ahead and fast forward, and now all these white cars are starting to come over. There's gonna be a lot of traffic at the start, but it should kind of mediate and settle itself out as all the cars start to get rid of the demand and they don't have to wait so much. Now, luckily and beautifully, we do have another market that just spawned over here on this side. Go ahead and move that orange out of the way for us, because now we don't have to wait and worry so much about getting these all the way down to the other side of the map. We can just go ahead and connect those in. I don't think we're going to need another bridge at the moment. Let's take another motorway. A lot of purples, a lot of purples. I wonder if there is a way. I mean, there definitely is a way. I could break up the purples. Keep this purple group going to this mall because it's close. And they should be able to keep that just fine. But I could take all these purples and connect it over to the next network. And that should get rid of any weird traffic jams that are going on between these two, or rather 4 types of stores. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Go ahead and take these down, move it off, let's keep it a little bit off the beaten path. And we can even connect this in from the opposite direction. So it's not all going through, again, the exact same junction. Connect these down, get one central road that connects to it. Now we can connect the rest to that central road. Just like so. Come down and around. Beautiful. Look at that tiny little neighborhood. They're all going to be driving around. Can you imagine, though, if, like, you move straight into a neighborhood, you don't have any roads, and then suddenly the city places down a highway that goes across 2 rivers just to get to the store? Gotta say, it's not the best city planning, but it's going to have to work. But now I don't want these purples going over to the other purple store, so I'm going to cut that off entirely. And that should reduce the load on this junction right here by a lot. We have anything falling behind. We got still more oranges on the outside being an issue. We can connect in a couple more blues into this network because I believe they go somewhere. We got a white. Achievement unlocked. Moscow commuter. Ooh, that must be for breaking 1,000 points, which means it's about to get difficult. And speaking of which, yeah, it's starting to get a little difficult. These oranges, man, they are going everywhere. Now we have another purple off to the left-hand side. I hope more purples spawn over there instead of down in this little neighborhood. It doesn't appear that they are, though. Luckily, Sunday is coming soon, so we're either going to need another motorway or we're going to need a bridge. And from that bridge, I will have the motorway go to that one. Come on, Sunday. Come on, Sunday. No bridge or motorway, just traffic lights and a roundabout. Oh, Digid's, we are a little screwed. So I'm going to go ahead and use these effectively the best that I can. We have a lot going through this intersection, so let's go ahead and calm that down with the traffic light. Make sure they all go through properly. I'm not seeing a whole lot of traffic jam anywhere else at the moment, at least, which is good, which is very good. But these oranges are going to still keep on start falling behind over time. Can I get these greens in? Oh, just barely. It still kind of connects into that network, but it shouldn't be an issue because they can just drive right past, right? So they'll have kind of at the right-hand lane while all these oranges will have a left-hand lane to turn into. Connect in this green. So I can somehow manage to find a way to connect in the greens, but I can't find a way to connect in any of the oranges. Because look, to do that, I'm going to have to cut through several different lines of networks to do that. So what am I going to do about the purples? What am I going to do about the purples? I am going to have to go back to the last plan with the same thing. These purples are now going to have to fixate and complete both stores. I'm going to get rid of that motorway entirely because now we need this entire neighborhood to go help this market. But with that being said, oh my god, purple, no, don't go. Please speed on your way back. I know the limit is like 70 miles per hour, but you need to go like 100 now. Now, go. We don't have any bridges. Come on, get back. Yes. Okay, motorway, please. Everyone, just immediately go right now. And fast forward. We need, please, cars, go. We're running out of time. Come on. There's the first car. There's the second, yes. Okay, let's go ahead and put a traffic light on this intersection. Can I? It's not letting me put one there. Go ahead and put one on that one, I suppose. It'll have to work well enough until we can get maybe a bridge. Nothing else is falling behind. We can go ahead and connect in another white randomly. There's a lot of road for it. Yes, okay, so now these oranges. It's funny enough because when another store spawns like this, it means that it's not going to have as much influx of like flow to these other ones. Instead, it's going to kind of even it out and put it to the other orange. Perfect, so now we can connect in some of those other oranges and not have them worried about being outside the main network in the center. Purple's holding on. That blue and purple are having a hard struggle right now. I'm going ahead and use this bridge immediately. Do I need this? Yeah, I do. Okay, I need to cut off this network again. I need to cut off this network, get these just going to that same mall, and have these purples come in from the backside. Oh, okay, so I can move it a little bit freely. Doing so, that does change it a little bit, but if I can just use this bridge to come across, having nice little, yeah, I don't want it at the same point as the motorway coming off because that'll be too much traffic, just like this one at a single point. We have a couple of blues also off on this side. We can actually still get these in while we have an opportunity to. Go ahead and connect these in at the same time, just like so, and continue. We're at 1,500 points, Digities. It's starting to get a little crowded everywhere. But we are managing. We got one white on the wrong network. Go ahead and get that in. Maybe it wasn't the wrong network. That market's still doing fine. This purple is starting to fall behind a little bit. Do I not have any purples going over to it? Where are my purples? Purples? Come on, go. No. It's the same issue again. Come on, turn. You got this. Knock it down. Oh, come on, purples, no. Oh, Digities, we were so close, too far as could reach this destination time. Your city shut down. 1,638 commuters traveled on your roads over 80 days. Oh, that is frustrating. I feel like I could have done so much better. Let's even continue in endless mode. I really feel like this was a big issue of the fact that the cars just could not get there in time. It wasn't even an issue that it wasn't like set up properly. They just could not get there in time. We do have a traffic light. Let's go ahead and just throw one right there so they can all start moving through a little bit better. Yeah, that's much better flow. I don't want these houses going on this side. The upgrade indicator is full. Selected to choose an upgrade for your city. Oh, okay, so that's how endless mode goes. It kind of just lets you choose whenever you want, I suppose. So if we go ahead and pause real quick, we have technically already lost, but everything is still kind of holding on. Kind of. Let's go ahead. We can get these greens. The greens just falling behind a little bit. The purples, look at that. The purples down here are doing perfectly fine now. Of course they are. I only wish that they didn't all spawn in this giant weird amalgamation of cars. It is ridiculous in what they're going through right now. We have an extra bridge. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to let it run. We're just gonna have to let it run and see what happens. We were not gonna live much longer than what we already did. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get a score any more than this, but more stuff does keep on spawning. I think we could have broke 2,000 if that purple motorway issue did not happen. It is unfortunate. Although taking a look, I just noticed something. In endless mode, look, they don't go into the timer mode. It appears as though that they can't get into the state where they start to lose and like count down. They just get full pegs. So maybe it's not doing as well as I thought, because I can see the orange, both oranges, these down here, everything is starting to get completely full. Yeah, that really was maybe about the best we could have done. If it lived a little bit longer past that motorway, maybe to 1800, but that's about it. So thank you, DigiDees, for checking out the video, checking out the channel. If you find yourself coming back for more videos just like this, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Having a little bit of a chill day today. Got home from work, thought I'd play a little bit of mini Motorways, give you guys a couple of episodes of it. And hey, we got ooh, what is the game called? You know what? Why even ruin the surprise? We should have a new game coming out after these mini Motorway episodes of something a little bit more high energy, a little bit more ecstatic, a little bit more, instead of me just sitting here like, hey guys, let's have fun. Instead, it's be like, hey guys, let's have fun. So hey, if you want to look forward to that, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that fun stuff. Thank you, DigiDees. I still don't really know how to do these outros if it has not been made apparent. But I can guarantee you, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.